much information here, and guess what, guys? Welcome to the Credit Game. My name is Mike, and I come to you Monday through Friday. I'm the only guy who comes to you as real as it gets. You know I base my videos on one thing and one thing only, and that's what you guys ask for. So where most people are making up their topics and their subject lines and things, what I do is I like to use my clients and my members and my students to say, look, if you need help, send me the feedback of the things you need help with. So today on the Credit Game, we're going to talk about something that a lot of people ask for and want, and they want to know what their rights are and what they can do. That being said, if it's your first time on the channel, welcome. I'm the only credit guy that does this every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. There's nobody else. I grew the fastest YouTube channel in credit history for a reason, because of you guys, because of your love, your subscribes, which I'm going to ask you to do to keep this channel going. As strong as it's getting, the reason it's getting strong is because of you, your support, your love, and your thanks. And that's how I'm able to help more people and scale and change the national credit average from 667 to over 700. So if you do me a favor, please, and hit the subscribe button now. Do me a favor also, and if you find this in your heart that this is something that you like, smash on that like button for me and turn on the bell notification. Most people miss this because they don't know about it. It's a little bell, and all you gotta do is click the button and it'll say all, right? You wanna click all because that means that every video I do, you guys are getting access to the videos as they come in daily. The more you learn about something, the more you are engaged in it, the more that you are practicing it. Credit is an adult game, right? Fortnite's a kid game. So I talk about this all the time. Like, I need to know my credit. I need to know what's going on, and I need to be engulfed in it daily. So the question is, how do we remove late payments from your credit report? And a lot of people ask this, and I've got some good news and I've got some bad news, right? The good news is you have to know your legal rights. First of all, understand the FCRA is there to protect us, okay? It is credit, banks, credit cards are not backed by the government. So they put in 1970 a place called the FCRA, which protects the consumer for creditors and credit bureaus basically putting bullshit on your credit that ain't supposed to be there. Now, here's the cool thing. You knowing your rights and understanding that you have the legal right to challenge anything that you feel is inaccurate, obsolete, unfair, unduly, or incorrect on your credit report. Now, why is that a good thing? Because who can tell you that you don't believe it's obsolete, incorrect, unfair, unduly on your credit report? Nobody. If you believe, you have the right to challenge it. The onus is put on the creditor/credit bureaus to verify the information. Only you know if it's going to be incorrect or correct, or if you believe maybe I was a victim, or maybe you believe I don't recognize this charge. But you have the legal right to challenge it, right? So how do we get these late payments off our credit report? Well, first understand that a late payment only happens after day 31. So let's say you owe a credit card company and you miss a payment on the 15th, right? Your payment was due on the 15th. Well, you decide to make that payment on the 20th because maybe your pay falls on the 20th of each month, right? That is not a late payment, okay? So the creditor, the bank, the data furnisher, will not report that information to your credit bureau until day 31. Some banks don't report it at all, okay? I can give you a few of those names as well. Some of them, with a banking relationship, will not even report the data as late, after 90 days. But here's the cool thing. As a credit furnisher, they have the right, because they are the ones that reached out to the credit bureaus to say, hey, this person has not paid me in 31 days. Okay, it becomes late. Think about it this way. They have the data to report it, which means they also have the data to remove it. So anybody that calls a creditor or sends a letter to the creditor, which we're going to talk about, and they say, oh, we don't have the access to do that, is bullshit. They do have the right to do it. They do have the software to do it. That's how they got it over to the credit bureaus. The credit bureaus do not mark on your credit report. The creditor indicates to the credit bureaus that it was late. So I don't want to hear any bull ass about, oh, I can't do that. Yes, you can. Okay? I've heard a lot of people saying, creditor told me I can't do it. Yes, they can. because they're the ones that reported it to the credit bureaus in the first place. Okay, now, the way to remove a late payment, first and foremost, is understand there are many ways to remove late payments. The older the late payment is, the better chance you are going to have it removed. Okay? If it is something from last month, the bad news is most likely the creditor still holds the paper. You just signed something last month, you missed the first payment. Okay, more than likely that payment right there, as long as it's not an inaccurate, which we'll talk about some of the things, or if you were a victim of identity theft, or maybe something that you're like, this is not my late payment, okay? Then it can be removed, okay? But the downside is the newer the late payment, the harder it is to be removed. Late payments stay on your credit report for 7 years. So I always tell my members this. Guys, you need to stay through this whole video. This is so important. Watch this. I always tell my creditors this. I always tell my students this, excuse me. If you put your payments on auto deduct, this is the number one secret that I asked, and I did a survey of over 50 people with over an 800 credit score. And I asked them, how do you keep such a high credit score? I've maintained my credit score from over 800 for the last 5 years as well. This is the one secret. The one secret is they put their payments on auto deduct, which means you don't have to worry about making the payment. You set it up, you contact Chase Bank credit card or your car payment or whatever the payment is, and you don't have to worry about the payment being made by you manually. It is auto deducted from your account. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that, okay, because they think they're going to take some erroneous amount, but that's not the truth, okay? I'm telling you, if you listen to me, this is the secret to people not missing payments. You also want to make sure that your bank account is set up on auto draft, because if the money's not there in your checking account, it will auto draft from your savings account. Okay, the last thing you want to do is set up on auto. You don't have the money in the checking account, and it goes to pull it, and then you miss the payment. Okay, and then you'll find out later until it's late. Now, here's the cool thing. The first thing to remove a late payment is this. First, understand where we're at in time in life. What did we just go through? Everybody in comments, put what we just went through for the last 8 months and we're still going through right now. Put in comments. It's a very simple word. It's a 5-letter word that I'm looking for. Okay? If you are going through that and have went through that, the banks know that. They are humans. They have families. They understand hardship. Then you can send in what they call a goodwill/hardship letter. Okay, this letter goes to the creditor, not the credit bureaus. Okay, creditor, the bank, not the credit bureaus. Okay, and the reason for that is because the creditor has 15 days to get it to the credit bureaus, which have 30 days to investigate. But the creditor has to notify all 3 credit bureaus. If you dispute the information and you send a letter, the goodwill letter, to the bureaus, yes, it is slightly shorter, but you have to multiply by 3, meaning that you have to send out to each bureau. Where the creditor takes care of that for you, they are legally responsible to send it out to all 3 credit bureaus. So it's a quicker and effective process. Also, you're going right to the source. The person who put it on is the person who can take it off. Okay? Do not believe in their BS. Their BS is, I can't remove it. You got to call the bureaus. No. You're the one that reported the data. You're the one that can remove it. Now, here's the key to the goodwill letter. Remember that a goodwill letter is basically saying this. I'm asking for forgiveness. I just went through what I'm asking you to put in comments. I lost my job. Okay? I was sitting at home for the last 6 months. I didn't have the money to pay it. I am deeply sorry, okay? And I apologize. It'll never happen again. Please forgive me for this late payment or 2 late payments during the part of time in my life when it's been very difficult for myself and my family, okay? You are dealing with humans, not computers, okay? So, what you want to do is call and then send a letter. Call them first, explain to them what you just went through, explain to them the process, what I'm just telling you right now, and say, look, this is what happened. I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. Would you please remove it from my credit report? Okay, now here's the real tip. You need to make sure you have something in writing that will say, hey, if I remove this, okay, then you're going to contact the credit bureaus and let them know, because then you have no ammunition. So you just need something in writing. It could be an email, it could be a letter, whatever. But after your conversation, get them to send you an email saying, hey, you know what, we're forgiving you of your late payment or two, whatever the case is. And put that in an email for me. Send it to me in an email. That way you have ammunition, because if it doesn't happen, the credit bureaus don't remove it, then you have ammunition in email saying, hey, the creditor wrote me an email saying they were going to remove it, and it hasn't been removed. But here's the proof that they said they were going to remove it. Okay, and then the credit bureaus legally have to remove it. Okay? So, here's the kicker. Inaccurate dates. Okay, you want to remove late payments, you need to be looking at those late payments and make sure that the inaccurate dates, look at the dates on it. Are they inaccurate, right? Now, how about, it's been longer than 7 years. Okay, how about I was a victim of identity theft? You have the legal right to challenge anything that you believe is incorrect. Nobody can go inside your brain and say, he didn't believe that was incorrect, okay? Maybe it's a duplicate account, right? The amount was shown wrong. It's been longer than 7 years. Can only stay on legally for 7 years. So look at the late payments, look at the things that I'm telling you here, and if any of those fall into place, you definitely 100% will get a removal off your credit report for the late payments, okay? There's no secret sauce to removing late payments other than having the right letter and information that works, okay? Now, if you believe that, hey, all these things are not mine, and you get your report back from the credit bureau and it says verified, which means they're not going to remove it and doesn't say deleted or frivolous, then guess what? Then you can sue them with a lawsuit letter. And a lot of times these days, these people don't want to deal with lawsuits, right? They don't want to deal with litigation. So what they do is that instead of having a heartache, okay, of an arbitration, they remove it. But remember this when I tell you right here. I've helped thousands of people remove negative stuff off their credit report. The nicer you are on the phone, okay, and you send that goodwill letter in, the nicer it is done with the right verbiage and on there with apology, okay? And then when you call, you're extremely nice. You're talking to a human who's going through. By the way, every person that you talk to right now that you're asking for forgiveness for, when you're calling the bank and you're saying, hey, I'm sorry this happened. This is what happened during this period of time. Remember, put in comments below exactly the 5-letter word that I'm looking for that we all just went through. Every single human being on the earth went through this. And that is your catalyst with that goodwill letter to make things happen. I've been using this trick for the last 6 months. It works like phenomenally, okay? That is the kicker to remember. Now, here's the deal. Some banks do not sell their debt. Some banks hold their debt. Very few banks do that. What I mean by that is a bank will, let's say, for example, Discover, okay? You've got a 30-day payment late, okay, 60-day late, 90-day late, 100-day late, 120-day late, a 150, and then a 180, okay? Banks can hold their debt up to 6 months. But here's the cool thing. Some banks will send it to a debt. Let me explain what a debt collector is, first of all. Pennies on a dollar. When a bank doesn't want to deal with it, they write it off their books. Discover says, you know what? You didn't pay me the $1,500. I'm selling that debt for about 4 cents on a dollar to ABC Collection Company. Okay? That's how a collection works. Then they place a collection on your credit report. Now, some people, some of these banks will send it on day 31. They're like, you know what? I want it off my books. I'm going to sell the debt. I'm going to get about 10 cents per dollar. So, whatever that is, $1,500. Let's say that you maxed out a card, you didn't make the payment for 4 months, and then it went to collections. Okay. Then what happens is Discover will then take that debt and sell it for about 10 cents on the dollar to ABC Collection Company. Okay. That's a charge off. Whole different video. I have a video on charge offs that the tip of the day is this: don't ever pay a charge off company. And I've got a video, it's called Don't Pay Collections. Okay. I've got a piece of paper, a piece of tape, just so you can reference this video. I got a piece of tape across my mouth. Look for that video that I have. That right there, if it gets to charge off status, there are ways around not making the payment. But if it is a late payment and you can handle it early enough before it goes to charge off, you are in much better opportunity to do it that way. Okay? So handle it. If you make a mistake and you missed a payment, or you don't believe it's yours, or you went through what everybody else in the world just went through for the last 7 months, then guess what? Let's do it, man. Let's use that catalyst and deal with humans to say, you know what? I made a mistake, man. I'm sorry. I'm sending a letter in. I'm asking you for forgiveness. This will never happen again. And I'm asking you to please remove it from the credit bureaus so I can move on my life. I can better my family. I can buy a house. I can get in my car. I do not want this to be on my credit report. Understand this: a 750 credit score, one missed payment equals about 100 points. One missed payment, if you're at a 750, will bring you down to a 650 average. One missed payment on a 650 credit score will bring you down 75 points. One missed payment on a 600 credit score will move you down 50 points. Guys, it is devastating, on top of it being there for 7 years. Every time you go to get a credit card, every time you go to get a loan, every time you go to the car dealership, every time you say, you know what, I want to buy a house, guess what happens? That's 7 years it has to sit there. Or does it? What if you had the right letter, the right verbiage, and I told you that I had the proprietary letters that has removed these late payments like clockwork? Would you be interested? This is why I created the credit game. I didn't create this credit game for you. I created it for me. Because I was at the 505 credit score, and now I'm an 827, and I don't go backwards. I created the opportunity of a lifetime for people to go through what mommy and daddy and schools never taught. Look back and think about in school. Did they ever teach credit? Did they ever teach it when you went through middle school, high school, or college? No. Did they ever teach, mommy and daddy ever show you exactly how to manage everything? Credit cards, balance, accounts, utilization, how many cards you should have? No, right? So what did Uncle Mikey do? He said, you know what, let's put the program together for me, and then if it goes well, let's offer it to the world so we can change the national credit average so people can start living their life better. And that's exactly what I did. And here's what I'm willing to do. You guys are holding yourself back from living your life because of these late payments and collections, okay? Think about what it would be like not to have those on there. When you walk into the dealership, you get any vehicle you want with the lowest down payment and the lowest interest rate. You apply for a credit card, you get approved for high limit credit cards, not bullshit $500 Capital One Platinum cards, right? You go and you're like, you know what, I want to buy a property, flip a house, I want to buy a renovation property, I want to buy my first home. You don't have to think about, oh, I've got late payments, I've got collections, I can't do that. Stop living life that saying to yourself, I can't do something, and saying, I'll change something. What most people do is they're so used to living with shit credit that they don't want to change it because they're comfortable with it. They're a cash person. So what happens is you get a paycheck, it comes in, government don't even trust you, so they take the money right out of it, right? Then you spend your money and you do the same thing week over week. How about learning the credit game? How about learning how to leverage credit, how to use it to benefit you so you never have to go backwards again? You see, it's one point to get to an 800 credit score, but try to maintain that without the proper education for the next 5 years. That's the hard part. So the credit game, what I share with you guys is I give you the proprietary letters, the same ones that I used, no different. That goodwill letter that I'm talking about is done professionally, and it works time after time after time. And I'm telling you, if you capitalize it on it right now in a time with the 5-letter word that you're putting in the chat or the comment box, I promise you it works. If it hasn't worked for the other thousands of people that have been using it last 60 days alone, I wouldn't even be saying this to you. This is your golden ticket for the lottery. Now you just need to cash it in. And the way to cash it in is to call me. If you call me, I'm going to work with you. I'm going to help you out. That's just the bottom line. For me, I want you to have the program. I want you to share the program. Remember, once you have the program, you can share it with your family. You could use it for your friends and your family, your mommy and daddy. You could use it for your brother, sister. You can use it for your clients. It's in your email. Once it's there, you guys can continue to use it for everybody. You could start a business with it. This is the credit game. And this brings me to my passion of actually raising the entire national credit average from 667 past 700. And I'll do that with your help. If you want the proprietary letters, if you want the right stuff so you can change your life and live a life of your dreams instead of living the life of somebody else's because you don't know how to leverage credit, I want to help you. Sincerely, I want to help you from the bottom of my heart, but I just need you to call me. 904-420-7772. This is how you remove late payments. I even have 12 letters going from late payments to charge-offs, to collections, to repos, to judgments, to foreclosures, to victim identity theft, to I've got the proprietary letters that you aren't going to get from anybody else. No cookie cutter how to remove late payments on the internet bullshit. They don't work. That's why they're free. So if you're ready to invest and change your life for the better, because you want better for yourself and your family, it's your duty, responsibility to change your financial future, then you just got to pick up the phone and say, hey, you know what, Mike, I want help. That's it. How simple is that? I'll be waiting on your call. 904-420-7772. This is the easiest way to remove late payments, charge-offs, collections off your credit report. I love you guys. I thank you for watching The Credit Game every single day. Make sure you subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification. And until tomorrow, I'm going to hold you accountable for that call. Give me a call now. 904-420-7772. Take care, guys.